Good evening, South Windsor, and welcome to the South Windsor Town Council regular meeting of October 16th, 7 p.m. Could we have a pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Poma, I was going to ask you, isn't it National First Responders Day? That was supposed to be on my, I think it was National First Responders
It's on there.
Week. Under my mayor's remarks, it's not. Huh? What? Roll call, okay. Sorry, roll call, please.
Counselor Alongo. Counselor Evans.
Here.
Counselor Kowalski.
Here.
Counselor Lopez. Mayor Pendleton.
Present.
Deputy Mayor King.
Here.
Counselor Kozakowski.
Here.
Counselor Leidecker.
Here.
Counselor Siracusa.
Present.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't see that here. Is that this weekend or is this whole week? National First Responders.
It's just on the 28th. It's National First Responders Day.
Oh, okay.
National First Responders Week was earlier in the summer.
Okay. So acknowledgement of National First Responders Day. And also, I have here in front of me the Torch Walk, the Haunted Torch Walk is October 21st from 6 to 9:30. And this will be located at Nevers Park. And there's trail guides from 5:30 to 10. There's a volunteer sign-in from 5 to 5:30. Parking is at the high school. If you're interested in volunteering and unable to be a trail guide but available for other opportunities, please sign up with Shauna at the Park and Rec Department. And Shauna can help you out with that. Then I also have the mark. This was on Cesar's seat. Was this for all of us? Okay. So Mark in Manchester is having an evening of gratitude on Wednesday, November 15th from 6 to 8. They work with clients here in South Windsor. The event is a celebration of all the wonderful people who make Mark flourish, including you. They have salad, baked ziti, and sausage and peppers that will be served. So you can go onto the Mark website, markct.org, to find out more information. The other thing I'd like to read this evening is we have a list. It hasn't been, I'm sorry, here's National First Responders Day is the 28th of October. The elections are on November 7th. The South Windsor residents that are currently serving in the military in support of our country. We haven't had an updated list for quite some time now. So if anyone has an active duty family member, please contact Amanda at Clerk of the Council or Nicole, which is the Secretary of the Patriotic Commission, and they can get your family member's name on this list. We also have a board out front that holds the pictures of the folks that are on active duty. So I want to thank you, Amanda, for going through the very long list that we had and updating it. So U.S. Marine Corps is Sergeant Cody Bowell, Corporal Reason Fiordi, Staff Sergeant Joseph Hoffman, Second Lieutenant Brian Jennings, Lance Corporal Dylan Mangian, Second Lieutenant William Smith, U.S. Army is Private First Class Benjamin Couillard, U.S. Army Reserves Command Sergeant Major Louis M. Poma, Private Brandon Pulford, U.S. Navy Seaman Ralph Giansanti III, Lieutenant Thomas M. Smith. U.S. Air Force is Staff Sergeant David D. Anastasio, Airman First Class Hunter Workhoven. U.S. Air Reserve, Tech Sergeant Travis Biga, Colonel Robert Fair. U.S. Coast Guard is Petty Officer First Class Peter L. Jennings, and the Connecticut National Guard is First Lieutenant Nicholas Raphael. So I'd just like to say, as a liaison for the Patriotic Commission, but also as a veteran here in our community, thank you for our families that have sacrificed their loved ones to go off and serve our country on active duty. thank you to the ones that are active duty and putting our country first in your lives. And we truly, truly, South Windsor truly appreciate you. And we honor you and we thank you. And if there's any active duty family members that need any type of assistance, they can contact Human Services at 648-6361. Thank you. Tonight, I'd like to say this will probably be our last meeting before the election. I believe we're going to be canceling our November 6th meeting since we don't have any outstanding work that needs to be done. I don't foresee any, and it's really up to Mr. Maniscalco and the town's needs. If you need us to hold a meeting, we will, but we normally cancel the meeting the night before the election. So with that said, I'd like to say a few things. One, I'd like to thank the town attorney for helping the town in so much that you have over the last 2 years that you were hired, and we truly appreciate all your legal advice that you've given us and guided us along the way, and working with our staff also. Thank you. I'd also like to say take this moment to thank the town manager, Mr. Maniscalco, for putting up with all of us. It has not been easy, I'm sure, because there's 9 of us that are always contacting you and you're figuring everything out. And thank you for the hard work that you've put in over the 2 years that this council sat here, from where we come from where we are now, and the progress that we've made in our community and the job that's been getting done by you and our staff. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the assistant town managers, Mr. Roberts and Ms. Perry, while she was sitting in that position, for assisting all of us when they need be, and also for helping out with the staff as they did. And most importantly, I want to thank the staff that work for the town of South Windsor. The staff is exceptional. I think they're wonderful people. They all have good intentions in mind with helping our community and our residents, and they go above and beyond the call of duty, and without, they take that extra mile to meet the needs of our residents and our business owners. So I want to thank the staff, and also for thinking out of the box when we come up with a situation, and they come up with some pretty good solutions. I'd also like to thank the council that I've worked with for the past 2 years. Some of the present council excluded because you guys weren't on for the last 2 years, but I do want to thank you guys too. But the council that has sat here for the last 2 years, this has been the most respectful council that I have ever seen in the history of the town of South Windsor, and I want to thank you for that. And I remember when the night that I took this position as mayor, I read my acceptance speech, and my first part of that was about respect, sitting on this council and having self-respect and mutual respect, even if we disagree. And we have been the most respectful, most progressive, most getting items done in this last 2 years, the enormity of the work that we have accomplished, and we've done it respectfully, and I want to thank you all for that. And the decorum that has been kept in this council chambers was incredible, and I thank you, because I've sat on some pretty nasty councils, but this was a good one. Not only that, we have council members sitting up here right now, and I will speak on behalf of all of them, that at any point in time, whenever anything came up, if there were any questions or communications between whatever parties may be sitting here, all of us served with the best interests of South Windsor as our #1 priority. We all got along, we talked about it, we worked it out, we figured it out, and I'm looking at you particularly because we were trying on that budget. We really tried, and reducing that budget as best we could. So in working out the problems, we did it respectfully with each other, and I truly appreciate that, and that was able to move us forward in getting the job done that was in the best interest of South Windsor. And I think the most memorable part for me was sitting right here at a council meeting and listening to Councilor Leidecker and Councilor Kozakowski working out the words to a resolution together and figuring it out and working it out. And I appreciate both of you for doing that. I also appreciate this council to come to a unanimous budget, unanimously passed overall budget that we've given to the town of South Windsor. And it was amazing that we worked through what we worked through when we came to a unanimous decision on our overall budget. And the only other thing I'd like to say is two other things, is I'd like to thank the residents of our community for staying in touch with us, asking us if we could help them if they had needs, staying in touch with us with their complaints, their concerns, their questions. We could help them, and thanking our residents for allowing us to be able to be your advocates and your voice for whatever is going on in our community. Also, we're working with our government here. So thank you to the residents. And I just have one request for any future councils, because we do have election day that's coming up, is that, you know, everyone has a right to vote. Please get out there and vote for whomever you see fit to do this job that's sitting up here now. And whatever future council is, just remember that that oath we take is a very serious oath. We represent this community, and we represent the charter, and we don't have the authority to violate any charters, anything in our charter, because we've taken an oath. So anyone that sits up here needs to know that that charter is our laws and our rules, and we need to follow those, as you and I both do, because you're a rule follower. So I keep looking at you tonight, but I just want to say thank you to everyone, and we can move on with our meeting now. Appreciate you. Moving on to, I gotta get my glasses on, apologize. Councilor Longo, adoption of the agenda, please.
Move to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Is there any additions, deletions, corrections? Councilor Kozakowski.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Absolutely.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to postpone items 11A 1 through 8 to a future meeting.
We need 5 to go on. 5 should go on.
Well, it's my motion. If somebody wants to change it, I can change it.
Oh, okay. Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of that motion of changing the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay. Roll call, please. Can it,
What can we do? Discussion.
yeah, sure, please. Discussion.
Okay. The reason why I make that motion to remove those items off the consent agenda, because all those appointments are for the Housing and Fair Rent Commission. And when the council adopted the ordinance creating that commission, it was very specific on what the makeup is and how many members each political party can nominate to those seats. I have copies of the ordinance here if anybody wants it, but to paraphrase, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and a third party can nominate and seat 2 regular members and 1 alternate member. And on the agenda, it appears that the Democratic Party has nominated 3 regular members and 2 alternates, and the Republican Party nominated 3 regular members. So it seems like it's a little messy, and rather than picking and choosing, the parties can go back, nominating committees can go back and clean this up. So that's why.
So could I ask the town, do you mind if I ask the town attorney a question? So in the past, you've said that the council can appoint, nominate, appoint any names that come before us. So what I'm understanding Councilor Kozakowski is to saying is that the Republicans are responsible for their nominations and their appointments only, and we're responsible for our nominations and appointments only, and the unaffiliateds are responsible for their nominations and appointments only. Is that what you're saying? Help me out here.
I can read it if you prefer.
According to the ordinance, that's where you're getting this information from. Yes, please, read it.
Okay. I'm reading, I don't have a section number, but under the title Membership Terms and Vacancies. The commission shall consist of 6 members and 3 alternates, all of whom shall be residents of the town, who shall be appointed by the town council. All appointments shall be for 3-year terms, which shall expire on the first day of the year, 3 in each year. Of the 6 regular and 3 alternate members appointed to each 3-year term, 2 regular members and 1 alternate shall be nominated and seated by the Democratic Party, and 2 regular members and 1 alternate shall be nominated and seated by the Republican Party, and 2 regular members and 1 alternate shall be nominated and seated by any third political party, and if none are filled by individuals unaffiliated with any political party. And then it goes more.
So I think that's confusing us because we've had names that are nominated and we all could appoint anyone. I think
So
it's-
generally speaking, the town council is responsible for nominations and appointments of different positions. And how that comes up is a variety of ways. Could come through a political party's nomination process. It could come from your own individual, presenting of somebody who might want to fill a slot. This ordinance seems to read that each of those sections shall be nominated and seated by a particular political party. So I do think I'm reading this the way Councilman Kozakowski is reading it, is that 3 members, 2 regular and 1 alternate shall be nominated and seated by a party, the Democrat Party. 2 regular members and 1 alternate shall be nominated and seated by a Republican Party. 2 regular members and 1 alternate shall be nominated and seated by a third political party. It seems like this reads that each party is responsible for putting forth 3 individuals, 2 regulars and 1 alternate. Whereas normally it could be any one of you, it could be a Democrat member, it could be a Republican member, putting the name of some other person forward who's not a same political affiliation. This seems to read that each party has a responsibility to nominate, and then the town council would seat 2 regular and 1 alternate.
May I? So that brings me to question, for the person who's an unaffiliate, they don't have anybody to nominate them.
That's true.
So what do we do about the person when it's required on the ordinance? Who nominates them?
If there's no third political party, then it would be any one of you.
Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand that?
If somebody wants to modify the motion, that's fine. I would just think since these are all before us almost as a bundle, it seems to make sense to reevaluate it later.
I don't disagree with you on that. However, I wanted clarity from the town attorney because you brought it up about the appointments, because you said we didn't appoint these Republicans, So the Republicans have to appoint the Republicans or nominate the Republicans? Is that what you're saying based off of this ordinance?
Yes.
Okay. And the Democrats have to nominate Democrats.
Right.
However, if a person is an unaffiliated or an independent or a Green Party or a Libertarian Party, or how do they get nominated?
Well, it says the 2 regular members and 1 alternate shall be nominated and seated by any third political party, and if none, filled by individuals unaffiliated with any political party. So I read that, I understand that to mean that if there is a third political party, right, that third political party could nominate up to 2 regular members and 1 alternate, okay? And if there is no third political party, then that would be filled by the town council as it normally would. Anybody could raise anybody's name. It would have to be unaffiliated, just so we're clear, though. These are unaffiliated with any political party. So, Madam Mayor, you could raise anybody's name as long as they're not a Republican or a Democrat or with a third political party, okay?
They're an unaffiliated.
Unaffiliated, right,
And unaffiliated is not a party.
correct.
So any Democrat or Republican sitting on this council can bring forward an unaffiliated name.
Yes.
Okay.
I understand. And that one nomination is not the crux of the problem. I think the bigger problem is there's, the Democratic Party put up 3 regular members and 2 alternates. So that's the biggest problem because it's 1 extra from each area. And as far as the unaffiliated voter, or the unaffiliated seat, I'm not disagreeing with Attorney Corrella's analysis, but there are third parties in South Windsor, not just the United Community, but there's the Independent Party,
That's what I just
there's
said.
other ones. So,
Yeah.
if anybody from those parties, they'd be nominated by somebody from their party.
But it
So-
says unaffiliated, specifically in the ordinance. So it
But
couldn't be those other ones.
I think we're getting stuck in a weed when there's, bigger
No, I'm
issues
with
that
you.
need to
No,
be
I'm with you. I
addressed.
got you. I just
Yeah.
want to get that clarified, though.
Yeah.
That's all. Because of an unaffiliate, because it says we need 2 unaffiliates and 1 alternate unaffiliate. So how do we get them?
It doesn't say it needs 2 regular and 1 alternate unaffiliated. It says third party, and if none come forward, I would think out of fairness and the
Okay.
test of time, if there's been a vacancy for a while, I know sometimes we have trouble filling boards and commissions, then there's an opportunity for an unaffiliated voter. But that's kind of not what's
with
happening
unaffiliated.
right now. This is a brand-new commission.
Call for the question. Call for the question. Call for the question.
Thank you.
So if I can have clarity, please, on the motion and then the call for the question. Thank you.
Point of order, I did have the floor, Councilor, or Deputy Mayor. But I do agree, I think we've discussed this. So I yield the floor. Thank you.
Okay, so we are now still on your, removing these? That motion? Okay.
There's a motion to remove items 11A, 1 through 8 from the consent agenda and postponing them to a future meeting.
Madam Mayor, can we have a date for a future meeting, or is it just the next?
That would be the middle of November. Oh, it
Is that
can't be
okay
the
with Attorney
first.
Kozakowski? Or Counselor Kozakowski, are you
Well,
saying postpone to the next meeting or postpone indefinitely to the date?
I would say indefinitely, because there's got to be some modifications, because if in next meeting in November, we see all these names still on the agenda, the problem never went away, never got resolved. So I guess it would be to postpone them until, a proper list is provided.
Understood, thank you.
Yes.
We were trying to figure that out as well. The effect of postponing this today would put it on the new council's plate, and it would be up to them to decide what names to nominate and who to put forth. And so effectively, you're kind of starting from scratch with the new council. So however you want to word it, postpone it, table it, however, the effect is going to be the same. The next council will be the one that picks up the appointments to this commission.
However, we have 2 nomination forms, we have a nomination form from the Democratic Town Committee with 2 names on it that came in from them for folks here tonight. James Bailey and Tara. And they came in on the 9/27, the nomination forms. And according to our council rules, that's the process.
Call for the question.
I think the issue, if I may, is there is a motion by a sitting councilor to postpone all these names. So whether it came in as an RTC nomination, a DTC nomination, however, it's encompassed in a sitting councilor's request right now to postpone all names. So it's kind of irrelevant where the nominations came from. A councilor has made a motion, and that's what we need to vote on.
So we just remove the names because they would have to come back forward to the next council,
I think
however they come back.
Yeah, I think Councilman Leidecker is correct. They have a motion to postpone the consideration of this indefinitely or even to the next
Oh,
city
okay,
council
I
meeting. It doesn't
understand.
matter. The effect is going to be the same. I would suggest to you that you just postpone it because the next town council, whoever that is going to have their own set of names, possibly new names to consider. There might be people that can or cannot sit based on whether they're elected to different positions. So I think you probably just, the reality is you're going to push this over to the next town council. How you get there, motion to postpone, motion to table, motion to not consider it, however you want to do with it. That's up to you. Motion to postpone is on the table, seems to make the most sense.
So after hearing that, you want to still consider, still go forward with the postponement?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor of postponing the names? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Not hearing any? Any abstentions? Not hearing any? Thank you. The motion carries. So now we have to have a motion on the table to adopt the agenda as corrected. Is there a motion? Somebody made that? You did that? And there's a second?
I'd like to make a motion
Is-
to adopt the corrected agenda.
Okay, is there discussion? Okay, discussion? Deputy Mayor King?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to be clear, so not 9 and 10, correct?
Correct, 9 and 10 seemed fine.
Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Not hearing anything, motion carries. Communications and reports from the town manager, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In terms of a splash pad update, Raindrop was on site from Ohio to inspect their subcontractor's work. That inspection failed as the town staff had been concerned. As a result, the subcontractor is going to be pulling all the pipe out and reinstalling it. Anecdotally, the subcontractor has said this can all be done within 3 weeks in a perfect world. The town, as well as myself and town staff, are going to make every attempt to aid in making that perfect world happen in order to aid the project along and get it back on track, including helping out with permitting and other things of that nature. It is still our expectation that the concrete will be poured before Thanksgiving, and we've been looking at some timelines associated with that have been submitted to the town from Raindrop that do show that scenario playing out. In terms of town hall window updates, the window abatement and install are going well, with most of the office windows installed at the time of the report. Remaining windows are the large odd-shaped windows in the stairwells, the hallways, the town council chamber. Once those are complete, the window sills will be installed, and then a punch list will be created for remaining items, and the project will be closed out. Town hall HVAC renovation as a part of the ARPA funds that the town received. The town is replacing the original HVAC system in the town hall. This project is expected to happen in late November, early December, based upon when the equipment is delivered. There is a chance we may need to close the town hall for replacement to safely occur. That said, it will be my goal to ensure all services are continued to be provided to the public during the installation. As we get closer to that actual install date, I'll have more information for the council and the public, but I wanted to get this on everybody's radar now because it is going to be have the potential to have some impact. A couple other items. The council needs to return their town-issued laptops and cell phones to the IT staff by 10/31/23. If you have any of those items tonight that you want to turn over, feel free to leave them with myself or Mr. Roberts. Otherwise, you can schedule your time to meet with them and drop that off. Our hope is that the equipment can be wiped and new updates and everything installed, so that way we could get them to the new council for November 18th in the Town Council Academy. Which I would like to remind all the current council members and all the candidates for the council that we are planning a Town Council Academy for an all-day event on November 18th. The Academy will cover Robert's Rules of Order, FOI training, department head introductions, and active shooter training. If anyone on the council or if any of the candidates have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Additionally, I would like to take the opportunity to wish everyone running for an elected office in town the best of luck, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for the town manager? Deputy Mayor King, please.
The only question I had, thank you, Madam Mayor, is in regards to the new council, just for our residents, who will be handling any correspondence that needs to come in between the election on November 7th, so let's just call it the 8th, and November 18th. That's a week, but a week is a very long time in our town.
What days?
Can you give me an example of correspondence?
Yeah, resident says, hey, town councilor, I have a concern or an issue that needs immediate assistance because of XYZ reason.
Sure, so,
Will it, so let me,
yeah, go ahead.
so will something for that time period be a follow-up to you?
Sure.
Just almost like a email forwarding?
Yeah, so any emails that are directed to the town council as a whole, I am on that listserv as well, so I do get those. So I'll get those. If you receive something individually to yourselves as town councilors, please feel free to forward them to me. Additionally, I know the clerk of the council is available in the event that somebody calls for the council or sends some email as well. She'll be monitoring those as well, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the town manager? Mr. Maniscalco, we received an email concerning FOIs that are filed. Could you please tell me how many man-hours have been spent on FOIs this past year?
Probably around, I mean, it varies based on which, on each one. Some of them are a bit quicker, some of them are a bit shorter. But I'd say on average, you're probably guessing about 2 hours in FOI. I'd say probably around a week's worth of time. So 40 hours.
40, 48 hours, around that time frame?
Correct.
40? Okay. And do you know how many FOIs have been filed for this year?
I was only able to go back to February to last week, I believe, and it's 16.
16?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions for the town manager? None? Thank you. Mr. Maniscalco. Moving on, public input for all items on the agenda. Public input shall not exceed 30 minutes. When recognized by the mayor, the speaker shall approach the lectern, give their name and address. Speakers shall avoid personal attacks or impugning or alleging an improper motive to any person. The speaker may address the council on any item on the agenda. The speaker shall limit their speaking time to 5 minutes. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak to the council on any item on the agenda?
Madam Mayor, my name is Toby Lewis, 32 Linda Lane. I too am grateful for all of you for the past couple of years of work. Thank you for your efforts on our behalf. I'd like to speak on behalf of Steve Cadero, who's up for appointments on 11, 9, and 10. He's one of the hardest working, loyal people I've ever met, and I would encourage you all to appoint him to what he's been nominated for as alternate for the WPCA and for the inland wetlands. He's a hard worker, he's loyal, he's served the town for years professionally, and now as he's retiring, he's going to serve the town free.
Thank you.
It's a win-win. But please, I just speak on his behalf. He's a good man. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak to the council on any items on the agenda? Anyone else from the public that would like to speak to the council on any items on the agenda? Third time, anyone from the public like to speak to the council on any items on the agenda? Not seeing any, we'll be moving on. Councilor Evans, adoption of the minutes of previous meetings.
Adoption of minutes of previous meetings, approval of October 2nd, 2023 Town Council meeting minutes. Be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby approves the minutes of the regular Town Council meeting of October 2nd, 2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this? Deletions, corrections, additions? Not seeing any? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Not hearing any? Thank you. The motion carries.
Madam Mayor, I
Yes.
have to abstain.
I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Counselor Longo? Counselor Evans?
Yes.
Counselor Kubaski?
Yes.
Mayor Pendleton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor King?
Yes.
Counselor Kozakowski?
Yes.
Counselor Leidecker?
Abstain.
Counselor Siracusa?
Yes.
One abstention, 7 yeses, 0 nos.
Thank you. Moving on, item 9, communications from liaisons, officers, and boards directly responsible to the council. Water Pollution Control Authority, Deputy Mayor King, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Lewis, if you have anything to add when I get this report, please don't hesitate to step up. I know you serve on that committee. The only thing of any significance was their new business in regards to some sewer extensions. Outside of that, there wasn't anything necessary to report at this particular time.
Thank you. Public Building Commission, Councilor Kabowski.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I attended the PBC meeting last week. A couple items that came up. PBC is going to be scheduling an initial meeting to speak with the town manager and the Parks Director to go over the Parks and Rec recommendations for its new home. They're hoping to get that done sometime by the end of October. They're going to hold separate meetings for that outside of the school meetings so that there's no mixing of the two. There's new shelving that was delivered to the Pleasant Valley Library. However, it wasn't exactly what they ordered. So the discussion now became, is it something we can work with, and what can we do if we decide to move forward with what we've got? There were some additional encumbrances that took a bite out of the contingency at the moment, and while we're getting kind of close to the line, all the professionals at the meeting said they all felt comfortable that the project can still come in under budget, which is good. The Gilbane representative talked about the fact that the catch basins are continuing to work well, and they were happy that they put a lot of effort into that. Also, Gilbane let everybody know that their punch list is down from 6 items from 102. However, they're big items, but they're down from 102. And one of the issues that they're having right now that seems to be the biggest issue outside of the library furniture is issues with the front row sound system. These are the sound systems in the classroom so that for any students who are hard of hearing or in the back, the teachers wear a microphone and it goes through the room. They're coming through very scratchy. The voices are cutting out. Announcements that are also made that go through the sound system for the school tend to not make it to all of the classrooms. And when they fix it in those classrooms, there's a new batch of classrooms that tend to go out. So they had the professionals coming in from front row to take a look at it so they could try and solve the issue.
Thank you. Inland Wetlands, Deputy Mayor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There wasn't anything dramatic except for the fact that right behind Eli Terry, there was an application for the replacement of the pedestrian bridge that was approved. What I'm excited about through Jeff 2.0, which is Jeff Folger and Jeff Doolittle, the project grant was funded at $700,000. So they were able to secure $700,000 for that. And, I just applauded them in the meeting, and I wanted to say it here, that is how, when we have these massive things that we need to build, whatever, we need to find that money so that it doesn't cause an undue burden on our taxpayers. So shouts out to Jeff 2.0.
2.0. I love that. Thank you. Good job. Good job, Jeff. Parks and Rec Commission, Councilor Evans.
Thank you. Yes, the Park and Recreation Commission met the first Wednesday of the month. They actually had changed their meetings recently, knowing that they would be working with the Public Building Commission, especially since Molly would have to attend those meetings as well. So perhaps we can coordinate between those two commissions to figure out, since they were planning on changing their dates of meeting with the Park and Rec, there needs to be some coordination between the two. They are very grateful for the opportunity to collaborate with Public Building Commission moving forward. They're really appreciative that they have that opportunity. I know that the chair, Toby Lewis, the vice chair, George Kay, and the secretary, Genevieve, their intentions are to be the ones to really collaborate with PPC and to attend those meetings, but there may be other members of the commission that plan to attend as well. I had intended to mention the haunted torch walk as well.
Oh, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you for covering that.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And then I'll keep going for the Human Relations Commission.
Yes, Human Relations Commission, Counselor Evans.
Also met the first week of the month. They are planning a food drive for either November 18th or 19th. They'll be collecting items for the food pantry, and they're looking to host it at Geisler's.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning Commission, Counselor Kozakowski, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Commission had a regular meeting on October 10th. Two issues of real public interest. First, they approved the site plan for a new 10,000 square foot multi-tenant building. And as I understand it, two of the tenants will be Chipotle and Starbucks at Evergreen Walk. And the other item of public interest is they accepted a special exception application and site plan for Metro Realty's 55-unit multifamily development on Deming Street. And they have scheduled a public hearing with Planning Zoning Commission for October 24th.
Thank you.
Just real quick, I believe there's also a 5,000 square foot restaurant involved with Chipotle and Starbucks as well. Weren't there 3 tenants?
There's 3 tenants. I only
They
saw.
don't,
Do you know
yeah,
the other
there's
one?
3 spaces. We don't know what the third
Correct.
restaurant is yet. I
Correct.
just want to make sure everybody's aware. It is a restaurant though. So.
Bellas?
Okay, moving on. Item 10, reports from committees. Naming of Public Land and Building Subcommittee, Counselor Evans.
Thank you. So myself, the mayor, and Councilor Saracusa all met 2 consecutive weeks to really look at, we had 4 nominations of individuals that had been, names that had been brought forward. So we did have some discussions with members of the community who had nominated them from in the community, outside the community, staff members. So we got a lot of input and information that the next council will probably be seeing some of these names coming forward. The subcommittee also is working on really kind of narrowing in on what that process looks like for when a name comes forward to make it more concrete and just kind of an actual process, kind of tighten up what that looks like. And so the next council and whoever is on that naming committee will see those changes and revisions, and I think we've done a lot of good work to prepare for that to move forward in November.
So the policies and procedures are what we were looking over. Did you receive that yet, Attorney?
No, I have not.
Oh,
The new
So,
draft?
thought
Okay.
I saw an email from Amanda.
I don't believe so. But happy to take a look at it.
Okay, I'll share it again.
okay, thank you. Moving on is the Architectural and Design Review Committee, P&Z Subcommittee, Counselor Kozakowski.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Architectural and Design Review Committee met on October 5th, where they reviewed the architecture and aesthetics of the 2 projects that I described that are going to P&Z. First being the 10,000 square foot, 3-tenant building at Evergreen Walk that was approved by P&Z, and then Metro Realty's apartment complex, which is going to public hearing later this month.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor King?
If I can just ask a question in regards to that, and you may not know the answer to this question, but it just occurred to me. Obviously, I remember I saw the news article about Starbucks and Chipotle. Does the P&Z have any, what's the word I'm looking for, discretion in regards to who that 3rd tenant might be? So anybody could be that 3rd tenant.
That building and that property is in the Gateway Development Zone, so any business that conforms with the zone would be, following the appropriate procedure, would be able to locate in that space.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, 11, Counselor Siracusa, you're going to have to change that from 11A6. It should be 11A9.
9 and 10. Motion to approve items 11A9 and 11A10 as a first reading on the consent agenda.
Any discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Not hearing any. Thank you. The motion carries. Moving on to 11B, second reading, there is none. 11C, miscellaneous, there is none. 12, unfinished business, there is none. New business, Councilor Lydecker, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Resolution approving 23 refunds for the total of $9,287.84. Be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby approves a refund of taxes to 23 South Windsor taxpayers, the total of said refunds being $9,287.84, and is more fully described on Attachment Exhibit A.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Not hearing any. Thank you. The motion carries. We have no passage of ordinance. Any public input? Public input for any matter. Public input for any other matter shall not exceed 30 minutes. When recognized by the mayor and myself, the speaker shall approach the lectern, give their name and address. Speakers shall avoid personal attacks or imputing or alleging an improper motive to any person. The speaker may address the council on any item. The speaker shall limit their speaking time to 5 minutes. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to the council on any item not on the agenda? Please. Just do me a favor, bend the microphone down so we can hear you real well. Thank you.
Hello, Matt Odell, 115 Pine Tree Lane.
Thank you.
I was here about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, brought up some stuff. I don't know how many of you are aware, but there's a problem at the Benedict Drive pump station. 3 weeks ago, this very day, the pump station turned off. Nobody knows why. The pump station reached its life expectancy in 2019. Here we are, 2023, 4 years later. We pay sewer bills. It's in every sewer pamphlet we get. Benedict Drive pump station, obsolete. Here we are, 4 years later. 2 years ago, 2 years, 3 months ago, pump station failed during Hurricane Henry. Sewer water, again, in my basement. 2 weeks ago, you said this not an attack, I'm just using your words, Madam Mayor, that you care that if people's front lawns get torn up. Well, I have wastewater in my basement, not once, but twice in 25 months. I am 6 of those 16 Freedom of Information Acts over the past 2 weeks to the town manager, or 3 weeks. The FOIs that you spoke of earlier, I'm 6 of those in the past 3 weeks. I haven't received any responses from the town on why the pump station failed. Just turned off. If it wasn't for the wife buying $40 sensors to put in the basement, I could be 6 feet under in sewer water. There was no notification from the town that no alarms go off, no nothing. There's a problem at that pump station, and it needs to be addressed and fixed. One of the town employees told me that it may get fixed next year, it may get fixed in 2 years. Nobody knows. But it's obsolete, it's broken, it keeps breaking, and we get wastewater in our basement. I can't go into too much more because there's certain litigation going on. And with it, I don't want to say anything to contradict me in the court of law. So that's all I can say. I had a nice talk with the deputy mayor 2 weeks ago after I went to the WPCA meeting. I will be a frequent face to everyone, and even the conversation with the deputy mayor, he said, why didn't you bring this up to anybody in the council? I can, looking at these names right here, you probably have 15 emails from me. When I wrote the town manager when I was deployed, you're all on the emails. So that's all I have, and that's it.
Thank you. Moving on, is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak to the council on any matter not on the agenda? Anyone else from the public on any matter that's not on the agenda? Not seeing anyone, thank you. We'll be moving on. Communications from the council, please. Is there any Councilor Alongo?
It's festival season for people who hail from India and for Indian origin people who come from other countries. Right now it's Navratri, it's a 9-day festival, and it's also celebrated as Durga Puja by other, Indian communities. So I'd like to wish all of them a very happy Navratri and Durga Puja.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Councilor Kozakowski.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate all the runners in the 30th edition of the Hartford Marathon that took place this past weekend.
Were you one of them?
I was one of them, thank you.
Oh, you were?
Yes, I
Good
was.
job.
Yeah. Slowest time ever. It was my 7th marathon, but my slowest time. So
That's okay.
busy
At least
doing
you gave it a
housework
good
from
shot.
training. So just speaking from experience, I want to thank all the volunteers for their hard work in making that, making the race happen. It's a monumental effort from everybody involved. Thank the emergency services and first responders and everybody there to make sure everybody was healthy and safe during the run. And a special thank you to all the spectators that stood on the sidelines and cheering runners on.
And cheered you on. Keep going.
I can say that towards the end of the race, especially coming back down Main Street when it's mile 18 to 22, so some of the tough miles, having people cheer you on and words of encouragement is a tremendous help. And you're at a moment where you're hating your life and regretting every decision you made, while you punish your body. But everybody that cheers you on and on all of the signs and all the good smiles and clapping is very much appreciated. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Siracusa?
Yeah, I just want to say how much of an honor it's been since July. I never imagined being 33 years old in the town that I was born in, that I'd be sitting here on the town council. Couldn't have been happier to have that honor, and just want to thank you all for embracing me. And then to Parks and Rec, Saturday, the pumpkin rolling competition, or whatever they called it, my kids had a blast. It was really fun. And then shout out to my little tiny wife for winning the adult heat. All us grown men were trying to throw the pumpkins as far as we could, and she somehow ended up winning. So really, that was an awesome event, and I hope we get to see more events like that going on in town, because those are the things that I remember, since I was a kid. So again, thank you to everyone, town manager, town attorney, for answering questions that I had, and Mayor Pendleton, thank you for preparing me for this.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any comments? Any communications from the council? Not seeing any. Moving on, executive session. Do we need one? None. Thank you. And adjournment. Good luck, everyone. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Not hearing any. Motion carries. Thank you. Good luck, everyone.